Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a really beautiful story from Ghana. It's all about a young boy, a very special gift, and a powerful lesson that kind of makes you think, what's the difference between just making noise and actually making something meaningful?
In this line right here, this is the heart of the whole thing. It's spoken by a wise grandfather to his grandson, and it really sets up the big question for all of us. Are we just making noise with our talents, or are we using them for something bigger?
So here's our game plan. We'll start with the gift itself, then follow our guide Jabari through a pretty tough lesson. We'll see how his grandfather steps in to guide him, watch how he transforms, and then we'll tie it all back to a bigger idea about education.
All right, let's set the scene and meet our main character.
So, picture this, a small village in Ghana. We've got our hero, a young boy named Jabari. And his grandfather, well, he's not just any drummer. He is the best drummer in the village, a super respected guy. So when he gives Jabari this drum, you know it's a huge deal. It's more than just a present. It's like he's passing on a legacy. And here's why it's so important. In their community, this drum has these incredibly sacred jobs. It's how they tell their history, it's how they welcome people, and it's how they worship. So yeah, this is definitely not a toy. It's a piece of their culture, their faith, their whole identity, really. Now, getting a gift like that, it filled Jabari with pride. But, pride can be a tricky thing. And that's right where we find the main problem of our story. So Jabari gets to school, and he basically comes to a fork in the road. He's got a choice to make, a real test. Is he going to show off, or is he going to show respect for this amazing gift he's been given? You can just imagine it, right? His friends are whispering, go on, just a few beats. And in that moment, wanting to be cool, wanting to make his friends laugh, Jabari makes a choice. And that little thought, what's the harm? Man, we've all been there, haven't we? Right before making a decision we might end up regretting. And look at this contrast, it's fascinating. His intention was so simple, almost innocent, right? He just wanted to get a laugh. But the consequence? Whoa, it was immediate, and it was serious. The teacher stops talking, the whole room just freezes, and that great feeling of pride he had, it just sours into pure shame.
And every decision has a consequence. For Jabari, the result is swift and clear. The teacher tells him not to bring the drum back to school until he gets what it's really all about. Ouch.
Okay, so this is the turning point. Jabari's messed up, he's facing the music, and now, more than ever, he needs some guidance. This is exactly where his grandfather's influence becomes so important. And we're not talking about control here. Real influence is that gentle power to help shape someone's thinking, which is exactly what Jabari needs right now. So instead of just moping or feeling sorry for himself, Jabari does something really important. He goes and finds a quiet spot to just think and to pray. He's not just stewing in his mistake, he's actually reflecting on it. And that's what opens the door for a little bit of wisdom to come in. Wow, this is the question his grandfather asks him. It's brilliant. He doesn't yell, he doesn't lecture him. He just lays out two paths. One is about disruption, just waking people up, making noise. The other is about invitation, calling them to something meaningful, something higher. And when Jabari admits he just forgot what the drum was for, his grandfather's response is so simple, but it hits so hard. Then let it remind you. He's basically telling him, hey, the purpose is right there in the thing itself. The answer isn't about what other people think, it's about the drum's true soul. So with this totally new perspective, Jabari is ready to, literally change his tune. And this just lays out his journey perfectly, doesn't it? He starts with a rash decision, gets a consequence he didn't want, but then, through quiet reflection and some wise influence, he finds a totally new, amazing purpose for his gift. It's like a roadmap for growth that any of us to follow. And here's the payoff, the beautiful result. He plays again, but this time, everything's different because his intent is different. He's not playing for attention anymore. He's playing with respect, with joy. And because of that, the very same sound that caused an interruption before now creates inspiration. This quote just nails it. It's the core lesson of the whole story. Jabari's gift, his talent, it wasn't taken away because he made a mistake. Actually, that mistake became the very thing that taught him how to use his gift well, for everyone's benefit,
and for a much higher purpose.
All right, let's zoom out for a second and see how this amazing story fits into a much bigger idea about education.
See, Jabari's story is a huge part of the HeroesMart Academy's Godly Learners series because it teaches this fundamental principle. Just having knowledge and talent, our education, it's not enough. Without a moral compass, without a sense of purpose, those things can actually cause harm, just like Jabari's drumming skill did in that classroom.
And this whole philosophy is really grounded in Scripture, like this verse from Romans. The idea is, if you're only focused on worldly stuff like pride or getting attention, it leads to chaos. But if you're spiritually minded, focused on a purpose like serving others or worshiping God, well, that leads to life and peace. And that brings us right back to the most important question of all. Jabari learned to use his drum for a purpose, not just to make noise. So as we wrap this up, the question really is for you, for all of us. What are your gifts, and how are you going to use them? Are you going to make noise, or are you going to make meaning?